Hey Brie, thanks for sending me your swim video for analysis. The first things I'm looking at is breathing, body balance, rotation, and then I look at the three main phases of the stroke. Recovery, what's going on with your arm out of the water, hand entry, and underwater catch and push. Breathing, body balance, rotation, recovery, hand entry, and push, they all affect one another, so it's important to start with breathing, body balance, rotation. I can tell if you're breathless. I'm going to send you an article about 5 things that cause breathlessness, but I can tell if you're someone who feels a little bit breathless. It's because when you're turning your head to the side to breathe, you're dropping your arm. You want to leave that arm out there for balance purposes. Only when you breathe do you want your arm extended to help with balance and to make sure you get a good breath. You have very limited body rotation, and I'll talk about that in a second. When it comes to body balance, generally the weight of your body is on your sternum and your head should be tilted down. That'll help bring your legs up. If you're doing that and that's not working, the hand entry will. So I'll talk about that in a second. The first thing you want to know is when you're breathing, you want to leave that arm extended out in front of you so you can get your breath, turn your head back down, and then start your pull. Next is recovery, phase 1. Right now you have very limited rotation, so it looks like you're barely bringing your arms out of the water and you're entering like really kind of with your elbow and hand first. So your arms are coming out and it looks like you're literally crawling. You're dropping that elbow instead of keeping your elbow pointed to the ceiling. So it looks like you're almost like doing this from a point of you swimming into the camera. You can see yourself doing this and barely getting your arms out of the water. It's because you have limited rotation. So I would have you doing a lot of thumb slide drill where you're sliding the thumb up the side of your body. That's going to give you high elbow recovery, and it's also going to get you to be a little bit more on your hip. If you're not on your hip, you're not going to get your arms out of the water. So let's talk about hand entry. Once you manage a little bit better high elbow recovery with a thumb slide drill, you want to make sure you're entering with your fingertips, wrist, and then elbow. Out of the water, fingertips below the wrist, below the elbow. In the water, fingertips below the wrist, below the elbow. Notice how when I'm entering, I'm also rotating. Each aspect of the stroke affects another aspect of the stroke. Once you get a handle on hand entry with fist and head out of the water drills, that's going to set you up for a strong what's called high elbow catch and push. High elbow meaning elbow above your wrist, above your fingertips. Catch and then push all the way behind you. Catch, push. Notice how I'm using my catch and my push to drive my rotation. So that's where the most important component is, the catch and the push to drive your rotation and to propel your body forward. At the same time as my left arm is catching and pushing, my right arm is entering. That's why I mentioned before you rotate when you enter, but you rotate when you enter because the opposite arm is pushing and helping drive that rotation. So there's a lot that I want you to work on, but it starts with managing your breathing. Again, I'm going to send you an article about 5 things that cause breathlessness. Really working on high elbow recovery, using your rear delts and lats to help bring your arm out of the water as well as rotation, and then getting a handle on a deeper extended angle hand entry to set up for a good catch and push, which drives your hip rotation. One other important component of the freestyle swim stroke is instead of reaching in front of you with your shoulders, that hip rotation is going to help extend your arm deeper out in front of you. So there's a lot of relevance to the hip rotation. So it's really important. I think that's enough for now. One thing I also did is I counted your strokes per 25 and I added it to your time. Just based on the short video that you sent me, you were taking about 27 strokes in 30 seconds. I'd like to cut that stroke count down by using more pull, catch, and push to drive yourself forward. You're going to take less strokes with less effort, less kick. That's another thing. So kick is involved with breathing, body balance, rotation. You tend to kick yourself across the water. You're not pulling yourself. Again, with the article that I'm going to send you, it talks a little bit more about the kick. So hopefully this kind of all made sense to you. If you have questions, comment below, send me an email, or even better, leave me a voicemail at speakpipe.com/endurance hour. Because if you have a question, probably someone else has the same question, and we tend to answer those voicemail questions on the Endurance Hour podcast. That's it. Make it a great day.